When was the last time you really, really decided consciously what you wanted and went for it? This is the topic of today's episode. Welcome to the High Performance Consciousness Podcast. My name is Matthew Paddy, and again, I will be your host for today's show. So something as simple as decisions or a decision is a powerful instrument to creating change in your world. So let's think about decisions at two levels to begin with. At the conscious mind and at the subconscious mind. But before we go into the two levels, let's go back to the question I addressed right at the beginning. I asked you, when was the last time you really, really decided what you want and you went after it? Because decisions create destiny. You may have heard that before. Behavior creates destiny. But in order to act in a certain way, we must first have decided upon a certain thing or a certain result or a certain outcome. So let's think about it from those two aspects, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, as I've referred to in many of the podcasts on this podcast, High Performance Podcast, then is really the thinking mind. It's the imagination. So if you give attention, specific, intentional focus and attention upon a thing, an image, using your imagination, then you are consciously governing the information that is pressed upon the subconscious mind from the conscious mind. Would you agree? So when we make a decision from the conscious mind's perspective, which is logical, it can be analytical, it can be discerning, because it makes a decision consciously and you are aware of your conscious decision-making process, you are now saying, I select this image to be impressed upon my subconscious mind. So when you are aware of what you choose and therefore what you decide, then you have a greater level of power than someone who does not or is not consciously aware of what they are impressing on their subconscious mind by way of what they are thinking, the images that they hold in their mind, what they are imagining as a result or an outcome based on their desires, whether they can have it or can't have it, for whatever reason. And this is all about the belief system. So when we make flaky decisions, we're a little bit wobbly, we're a bit all over the place, we're actually denying ourselves of a clear, focused outcome. Now, we may make decisions based on the power of our own belief that what we desire is in fact possible for us to experience. Quite often we do. So we'll form a mental image in our mind using our conscious mind to form the image. This is what I want. This is how it looks, and using all the five senses, how it looks, tastes, smells, touches, all those sorts of things. Hearing. Now we can make that decision. This is how I want my reality to look like. This is how I want my business results to look like, my health, my finances, my wealth, my relationships, whatever it may be. So we make a decision in defining clearly what we want to experience ahead of the experience. That's power. Think about all those moments, all those times where you have not achieved or experienced the desired outcome that you wanted. Think about that for a moment. How unequivocal and focused and committed were you to experiencing that in your mind first? How clear and decisive were you? How convicted were you on that decision? Were you sort of second-guessing yourself, saying, maybe it'll come true, or maybe I have to work really hard to get it, or maybe it's going to come in another way? Maybe there's a magical or a mystical element to your decision-making process. I really hope that there is, because that's all that there is, the magical and mystical element of your imagination. But let's say for a moment that you make the decision and then you change your mind frequently. I don't know whether I want that anymore. And secretly, changing one's mind is your prerogative, but secretly it is essentially a flip-flopping between what you believe is possible and what you secretly don't believe is possible for yourself. So I flip-flop backwards and forwards. Maybe you call it shiny star syndrome, whatever it may be. Maybe you're having a little bit of an identity crisis and you think, I've just been to a motivational seminar or something inspirational, or I've read a book, I've had a great conversation, maybe I've done a course or been with a coach or whatever it may be, and you've been illuminated. You've been illuminated to a new degree. You've been expanded. So you've found an edge or multiple edges in your awareness, in your consciousness, in your ability to think bigger than who you believe you are in this moment. And yet, part of the decision-making process and the power that is lost in the decision-making process is in the fallibility of your thinking and in your fallibility of your belief of self and your self-image. So at the level of the conscious mind, can you be aware of what you decide upon? Yes. Can you increase the awareness of what you make decisions on each and every day, each and every moment? Yes. Can you decide with a greater level of intentionality? Yes. Can you be more intentional with your decision-making process? Yes. So instead of hastily moving towards an end experience, a goal, a result that you have wanted to attain or achieve so quickly, take time to pause and reflect upon what is the image you want to impress from the conscious mind upon the subconscious mind. What is that image? And sit with it and play with the idea. Marinate in it. Date the idea. Court, whatever term you want to use, so that it may take a day, a week, a month, may even take a quarter, where you're allowing yourself to vacillate, allowing yourself to flip-flop backwards and forwards. Do I want this? Do I really want this? Yada, yada, yada. Because change does not occur in your reality unless you first decide for change to occur. Now, the most powerful change always occurs when a powerful decision is made, a strong, unequivocal backing of your decision. This is what I want. This is what I'm going for. This is who I am prepared to become in order to experience this new result, this new outcome, this new thing in my life. Would you agree? So now at the level of the conscious mind, I have a very clear, focused picture, mental image, using the power of my imagination. You know, I'm very big on the imagination because the imagination is the one true consciousness. Imagination is reality. So if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You may have heard that before. See it in your mind, feel it in your body, hold it in your hand. Something very similar to that. So make your decisions count. So if you're not ready to be all in, then give yourself permission and space to flip-flop backwards and forwards while you sample the goods. It's like going to a smorgasbord or a la carte where you do not know any of the foods, that you've never tried them before, you have no preconceived concept of what the taste is or the experience is of having that food. So you're going to sample little things. Now, of course, when you're looking at all the food, some of it will remind you of previous experiences. Well, that looks like this. I like that. Let me give that a try. Or that looks like something else which I did not like in the past. I'm going to stay away from that. So now we're using discernment based on previous experience. But if you were to open yourself to infinite experiences that are aligned and a vibrational match to your end desire, your desired end, imagine those new experiences and how many more experiences would come into your reality, into your awareness, that you could then perceive as either being part of the journey, in part or in full. So it's like a reason, season, or a lifetime. I'm starting to sample these elements in order to make a final decision. So that is a little bit of a materialistic view, though, because I want to sample so that I can predetermine what I like and what I don't like in order to fact find and find the ingredients that I believe at my current level of consciousness, at my current level of belief, are required in order for me to get the result that I want. So we're still looking in the mundane world. We're still looking in the world of matter, objects and things. But imagine if you skipped all of that smorgasbord and you just said, this is the result that I want. This is the result I decide upon unequivocally and wholeheartedly, and I give myself to the process of being the result. And in the process, becoming the result by sticking to your decision. So you've got a strong mental image. Now that strong mental image now impresses itself on the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not judge. It is timeless. It is the door to the quantum field. The subconscious is the door to the quantum field. So if you are making very clean, clear, concise decisions at the level of imagination of what you determine to be your desired end or your desired outcome, then that becomes impressed upon the subconscious mind through repetition. Remember, the subconscious mind is the long-term programmer. It does not judge the information it receives. It wholeheartedly consumes and uses the information it receives from the conscious mind to go about creating your reality. So decisions create destiny. So when I make a decision, it alters the way that I behave. And therefore, my behavior is connected to my identity. And that's a whole different gamut altogether. It's a bigger conversation. Essentially, who you believe you are as an identity is in fact a compilation of all the information, beliefs, decisions, and narratives, behavior that you have acquired and rinse and repeated up until this point. So have you ever met someone, maybe you know them personally, maybe not so personally, maybe they're on the big screen, maybe you might deem them as famous or a celebrity or whatever it is, and they have a rag to riches story. What changed? Did luck change for them? Some may say it did. What changed? They decided. They decided that the reality that they were experiencing back then, their current reality, was no longer of interest to them, that they were done. They put all their cards on their table and they said, I do not want to experience this anymore. In its place, this is my preference. This is my preferred reality. This is my desired future. And they made a decision. Did they know all the moving parts in order to experience the result that they now are experiencing, or the future that they are now experiencing as their present reality? No. The conscious mind left untethered, or left untended to, rather, will want to search for all sorts of information to validate, and it will be trapped in the how. The how is the construct and recipe of the material world. How do I move from point A to point B? How do I move from where I am to where I want to be? How do I move from a non-preferred experience or reality to a preferred experience and reality? That's the how, that's the conscious mind. That also is the wiring of your past. I need to know how I'm going to get out of here. And you could relate it to a little bit of Dr. Joseph Campbell's work of the hero's journey. You do not know the full journey and the details of the full journey. It is the first step out the door that starts the journey. But the first step out of the door starts first in your imagination. So do you leave your house without a plan? Quite potentially. Do you know how you're going to arrive where you intend to? Maybe you don't have the destination, the location, the people, whatever it may be, but you have a feeling. The feeling is the operating system of the subconscious mind. I have a feeling that is so strong and palpable of my preferred reality, my desired results. And that feeling carries a wave of potential and an amplitude of power. Remember, the subconscious mind is the doorway into the quantum field. So, decisions create destiny. Make decisions that are aligned with your preferred reality. If you do not know what you prefer, then start to sample what feels better. Start to sample greater ease, a different type of thinking, a different type of feeling, different company, different books that you read or movies that you watch or information that you engage. Start sampling that so you can form a new picture of your new future self. Nothing is fixed. Everything is in movement. So vibration, at the level of vibration, everything is moving. Nothing is at rest. Energy in motion, emotion, right? So when we look at the table and the chair that we sit at, when I look at the microphone that's in front of me recording this podcast, I might say that this is solid. But is it really solid? It appears solid, but it is not solid. It appears solid because its vibrational state creates mass, or the perception of mass, or the expression of mass at a different level. So, your decisions are the same. Your decisions can be in constant motion. Fluidity. You evolve based on the decisions that you make. Your results evolve based on the decisions you make. That also is you evolve based on the decisions you no longer make, the people you choose to hang around with, the conversations and topics you choose to engage in, the habits and behaviors you choose to accept and move unconsciously through on a moment-to-moment, day-by-day basis. Are you getting the picture here? Decisions create destiny. So now, when you make a decision, make the decision from a higher octave, from a higher perspective. Go to the end. Do I want to experience this from my current perception? From my current perspective of my current reality, I would rather be there than here because here sucks and I believe there is better. That's cool. So how does there feel? Not in contrast to where you are now, but typically that's the case. What does there, your B, point B, your preferred future, what does it feel like? And then unpack the feeling. Well, if I was feeling that, then what is the image? Imagine a postcard is delivered in your mailbox today. And that image expresses and shares and displays the emotion that you are feeling or want to give more energy and attention towards, energy for your new future. What is on the postcard? That's the mental image. Maybe it's a mental image. Maybe it's a postcard that moves. It's more holographic, or even better, it's like a film little GIF scene, sort of like a Harry Potter postcard or news article. But it's about you. It's about your life. And you can see it at play. You can see it in real time, moving and giving you the impression and the substance of a new reality. Make the decision. And by holding fast to that decision and allowing for more information to come into your awareness to support the decision, you continue to impress upon the subconscious mind greater information that is specifically selected and digested, so that the quantum field is now fed through the door of your subconscious mind with the right information, the information that is aligned with your preferred destiny, the information that is aligned with your preferred reality, future. All right, so I hope you got something out of today's podcast. Go back and listen to it again. Decisions. We make decisions consciously and unconsciously. The unconscious decisions are the ones that we do automatically on autopilot as automatons. We give no credence or conscious credibility to the decisions we make on a daily basis. Maybe we're so reactional to life. Maybe we're so fearful of, if I make a decision, the cascading effect that that is going to have upon my world. And then I recoil, I retract, I go into my cave and I hide. Be conscious of your decisions. Be intentional with your decisions. Be deliberate with your decisions. And watch your preferred future reality unfold at a speed in which you have not realized before. All right, I'll leave you with that. So from me here to wherever you are in the world or cosmos, remember to dream a better dream. See you in the field. The field. The field.